Hi, Luminaires. Hi, everybody. How are you doing this fine day? I hope everybody is doing absolutely wonderful. My name is Jamie Butler. Thank you for being here. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you're coming across any content today that just resonates with you and you would like others to be aware of it, because it really helps with spreading the word. My deal, why I come here every month, is it's really driven by spirit, and you will find this. Today we will be trans-channeling and receiving the energy update for December 2024. And my guide Maitland is going to come through, and she's going to be talking to you about the highs, the lows, the twists and turns of December, which, get ready, because it's not a lot. Isn't that nice to say that? And talking to you about what crystals you can grid your bed with, what chakras are going to be challenged, supported, and needed, as well as Hertz and essential oils and spirit animal and all kinds of things. But guys, information is not here to overwhelm you. It's blanket information about the frequency that's resonating in December, and it's up to you, the viewer, to pick and choose what you want to add to your life and what will resonate with you. I have the Colleen Ziegler here off camera. We would love for you to let us know if you can hear us both.
Hi, everyone.
There she is. And as you're settling in, I didn't take the time to let you know that I show up to these things not only because I'm trans-channeling, but because I have a deep passion and desire to normalize the natural, intuitive, psychic abilities that we all have. And so in this, it's not woo-woo, it's true is the underlying theme that we will do our work with today. I'm so happy that you've made it today. Hi, guys. Put your fingers to the keyboard, ask any kind of clarifying questions that you think would be necessary. But before we start, I would love to let you know what's going on in my world. Of course, you can always head over to jamiebutlermedium.com. Don't worry, all these links are in below. You don't have to memorize them or write them down right now. Just come back and surf through it later. And sign up for the newsletter. Colleen puts a newsletter together once a month, sometimes twice. It's just a news update blast. It keeps you informed of everything that's going on, like our spiritual tourism groups. Like, we're headed to an African safari tour, going to Sedona in late February. We're going to Shasta in August, manifesting that one. It's really good. But if you like to join any of the live streams, I do have healings and classes that are over on Learn It Live. Like, we have building new relationships. If you want to really hone your psychic intuitive skills to communicate to someone specifically who's transitioned, that's a really good one to join. That's coming up January 14th. Or if you want to learn more about your healing abilities, you can join me for Reiki 1 and 2, January and February. Or if you're just looking for a bigger community, come join the YouTube membership. We have exclusive content, 3 more channelings that you get to be involved with. So after this one, my guide Maitland, who's going to come in and talk to you, she presents herself younger. She doesn't need to, but she likes to. And she gives a deep dive. And in the deep dive, you can ask more in-depth questions or whatever you're deeming important in your life about what's going on for the month and its energy. So if you want more of a community, please check out our YouTube membership. We have different tiers, different prices, like enough to support everybody where you are. And guys, the Shift Network has invited me to teach a class, Perceiving and Reading Energy, in March. So keep an eye out for that. I'll be shouting out about that quite a bit. I'm very happy about it. Yay. Hi, everyone. Okay. You good? I think I'm good. That was the hardest bit right there, is to stay aware and like of everything that needs to be said before I get to leave my body. And from what I gather, the sound was good. Yeah?
Yeah, we heard sound was good. That's
great. Okay, for those of you who are practicing your abilities and seeing subtle light energy, check out this side of me. Not necessarily the wall behind me or my actual body, but kind of in between. Rest your eyes. I know you're looking at a device, but you can turn down the brightness of your screen, not all the way, just a little bit. Soften your body. Keep your eyes open, no blinking. I'm going to shift my energy, allow Maitland to come in, and she's going to speak to you directly. I won't be able to say goodbye, so I'm going to say goodbye now. Thank you so much for being here. You make my dreams come true. You do, by showing up and engaging in the material that I'm so passionate about and that I love. It's like the community is here supporting it. So thank you. I pass the mic to Colleen. Enjoy.
I'm going to pass it to Maitland.
Oh my God, pass it to Maitland. Here we go. So right here. My heart is fluttering. Okay. Have fun. I heard her go, why not? Sorry.
Hi, Maitland.
Oh yeah, let's stretch. Hi, everybody. Okay, we're here. Can you believe it's December?
No, because it's not quite yet. So let's not put us in the month. We're just talking about the energy of the month.
But we're talking about it already. Hi, my name is Maitland, Maitland. I am 9 years old. I don't have to be, but I choose to be because I like it, because we can be silly and we can play, and it's expected because I'm young and you like it. And so we're all good with it. But I like to take really complicated concepts and just kind of help you digest it and just put a little joy and happiness into it. So even if we're talking about, I'm just going to curl up. Even if we're talking about really hard stuff, which there's not that much really hard stuff in the month of December, I will say that the solar plexus chakra is being challenged, and that's more of like your mind. And so I'd like to name every month, and this month I'm naming it Open Your Mind. Mind. I think it needs to have an echo effect. Mind. So it's very important that you practice the discipline of holding open space in your head. So this means that even with your belief systems and everything that you believe is your truth and your accuracy is going to be challenged a little bit. Not rough. And I'm not, what do you call it? I'm not making it sound nice. I'm just telling you how it is. What's the word for that?
Just telling it like it is.
Okay. I'm just telling
You're
you.
looking for like just a one word.
Well, I think there's a word like when you pamper it or something. It's really awful, but you just kind of go, it's okay. What's that when you do that?
Sugarcoat it?
Sugarcoat it. I'm not sugarcoating it. It's going to just challenge you, meaning it's just going to push up against you. It's not going to, no crumbling, no explosions this month. In fact, there's a lot of really nice, sweet moments. And for those of you who are part of the YouTube membership, I don't know what levels, but I have a calendar and I sit down with Jamie and I put the information on the calendar, and it's a lot of fun. So you can download that calendar. It's a Google Calendar, and use it so that you get the cues of when the energies are working. Okay, let's begin. Because for December, open your mind. We start off with a new moon right on day one. And a new moon is really lovely. I like working with moon energy, but Mercury's in retrograde, so it's going to have a bigger influence over this moon. And it's going to kind of say, don't you feel like redoing something that maybe you felt that was undone? Or do you want to look at that again? Do you want to redo? Do you want to revisit? So you might be thinking, I'm going to bring in this newness and I'm going to expand and I'm going to engage, I'm going to be aware and all of this. And then it's something that you've already done before. And you're like, why is this here? Well, it's here to give you an opportunity to make it better, to do it the way you really want to do it, but you got to stay in your body. You got to stay present. Do you know what that means? Yes, stay in the now. And then the energy that comes off of the new moon, like that kind of redo, it sets you up for this feeling of great like confidence that you can just make plans, make goals, future stuff, and so you're going to look at that and you're going to decide like what is coming for you and what does that look like. But here's a little caveat. When this energy rolls in, I want you to think about what you are going to do and how it relates to community, because community is a really big key word in 2025. And when I'm talking about long-term goals, that's going to end up in 2025. So definitely slow down and think about, how do I present to community? How can community help me? Because then around the 5th, it's a nice time to launch an idea or put things out there. And when you put your idea, your concept, your conversation, whatever was new inside of you that you're about to give birth to, it's a good birthday. Oh, that's funny. A birthday. Birthday? Birthday. Anyways, you'll see like a big turnaround. It's a little boomerang energy, and it'll come back to you like around February 5th. So if you're planning on putting something new out there, I hope you go back into your calendar and go into February and just go, okay, February 5th is when I need to like really look at finalizing and witnessing this energy come back to me that I launched on December 5th. So it's a 2-month boomerang, so you know. Then once you have that off your plate, we kind of come into the 6th where Mars goes into retrograde. And we don't really talk about this a lot. Mars doesn't like to go into retrograde. It kind of makes you a little sluggish, it makes your mind go a little just grumpy is a good word. And what you can do with your spiritual gifts is to drop out of your mind and start operating from your heart. Heart centeredness throughout the month is going to serve you so well. But it's interesting, like the heart frequency and vibration isn't really in the top 3 pick for me for the energy in December, but having the solar plexus, which is the mind, the personality, the character, that's going to be challenged. And you're going to feel that a lot just in the first week, with staying present, bringing community in, launching the ideas, boomerang it back, feeling Mars go in, and then boom, on the 7th, it's an uptick. And it's like this wonderful, like rocket energy of creativity, intuition, imagination. Subconscious is like eek, 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 and it's moving up higher and higher. And so by the end of the week, where you feel like your ideas have been challenged and you've been redoing stuff and you might feel a little stuck, but you're not, because it was just lighting up the rockets to take off. And so on the 7th, it throws you into the 2nd week where we come onto the 8th, which I think the energy on the 8th, specifically on the 8th, well, kind of like 7th, 8th, and 9th, but on the 8th is the key to what December is really asking for. It's encouraging you to have an open mind, but it's really like, what are the creative ways? Like this, if December had a voice, this is what it's asking you. What are the creative ways that you can stay flexible? It wants you to go with the energy. Because do you know you've been working so long to move from head to heart energy, and now you've been working so hard in 2024, coming from 3D to 5D. And when we switch to higher frequencies, it's not about control. It's not about I have this and I'm moving the pieces. It's about you being in the flow. And to have that, you need flexibility. And the left side of your brain is not going to be very happy about that. And so you need to be a little bit more creative with it. And then notice that when you start getting into the flow of things, you're going to find more time. There's like more time in your day. You won't even know. You'll go, well, I have like an extra 2 hours. What am I going to do? Well, I hope that you decide to focus that on your physical health. Just bring it in and say, what can I do? What am I feeding myself? What kind of activities do I have? How good is my hydration? Think about the physical body, because your mental body is getting the exercise kind of the whole month. The emotion body is pretty nice. It's smooth. There's some really smooth emotional energy for December. Isn't that a relief? And then the spirit body is really being supported. That's why I picked your crown as your crown chakra as being needed. And this energy, starting in the 2nd week to the 4th week, is really going to show up. And the crown energy is like saying, let's align with the divine. Oh, that rhymes. Let's align with the divine. Divine feminine, divine masculine, divine universe, divine, just period after divine, but you can add whatever words you want onto it. And when you do that, this smooth emotional energy that comes in, you can really enjoy that a lot better. So we're coming into the second week. Solar plexus, not that challenged anymore, but you're getting into more of like, you know, psychic, intuitive awareness things. You have the 8th, which is one of my favorite days, where December is like, how creative can you be with your flexibility? And when you find that time of flexibility, we like for you to look at your body. We like for you to get grounded and get rooted into it. And then when you notice what's happening with your body, you can then be aware of what's going on outside of you, what's happening around you. It takes us to the 13th, which is a great day for spirit communication, because this energy that's coming in from the universe is really clean. It's a crisp kind of a feel. Do you know that perfect day where it's your favorite temperature and you go outside and you just take a deep breath and you go, like, I love this. This is my perfect weather. And it just lifts all of your energy. That's what this day is energetically. And it does it to your mind. And so it just allows your mind to open up, like it has petals in it. This is that whole theme of open your mind. It challenges you through the first week, then it opens it for you in the second week. And with this open mind, it is so wonderful to communicate. Talk, talk, talk. Talk, talk, talk to a friend. Talk, talk, talk to spirit. Talk to God source, whatever it is. And this can lead into this energy that's like a storytelling, just kind of a feeling where you're releasing blocks, like you're coming out. If anything is stagnant, you're talking about it and it's moving it. So we end up in the third week with the launch of the full moon. And crazy enough, the 15th on the full moon is the same day that Mercury goes direct. So yay! But remember, Mars is in retrograde. And I'm mentioning this because the energies around Mars in retrograde is really thick this time around. And it's going to be there for a little while, a few months. So you might feel like the big full moon and a release, but still a little sluggish and stuck. But you can still use, as a true and tried lunatic, meaning you like to worship the energy of the moon, use the Gemini full moon to help take your opinions and your thoughts, the open mind you have, and sync it with really, really deep emotions. And when you take thoughts and you link them into your emotions, you can do this in ritual, prayer, intent. You can just do it by conscious thought and being present for it. But this is what the moon is like going, here's what I'd like for you to have. This is my gift for you. So if you take it on, what this does is it kind of links this mindfulness energy with a very present moment. And that just equals growth. And then right after the full moon, like 16th, 17th, is another wave of soothing energy, bigger intuition. So even in your calm states, you're feeling highly connected to psychically what's going on. And I know that you are highly sensitive as well. So when I say this, it'll make sense. It's very different if you're sitting there thinking about something, problem solving it. It takes your focus into it. And you mull it over and you look at it and you can get into vicious cycles. That's one thing. But then when intuition rolls in, all of a sudden it's just way open and you're lighter and a lot more ideas are downloaded and you feel very expansive and very present. That right there, very different than thinking. That's the smooth kind of energy I'm talking about, where it just takes your frequency from day one in December and it just starts launching you on the 7th more and more and more and more. And you hit the full moon. And then on the 17th, it's like, here's another dose. And then we get into the 4th week. That's all it's doing for you. And the 4th week, and that's when like majority of people around the world have their holiday action. And it's all real good stuff. Have you noticed I'm talking slower? No?
Yes, I have.
Good. I'm purposely trying to talk slower because I heard that I talk really fast, and sometimes it's hard to take in all the information when I talk really fast.
But on the upside, you get it all in a shorter period of time. So it's good.
Oh.
There's positives to both.
Huh.
So you do what you need to do and what you're comfortable with.
Okay.
Because it's recorded. We can always listen again.
Oh. Okay. I didn't think about it like that. I was really doing hard work slowing myself down. Okay, so when we get into the 4th week, like I want you to highlight the 20th through the 31st. No, 30th. 31st. Yeah, 31st. And what's strange, we didn't even talk about this, but what's really strange about December is that you have 2 new moons. Isn't that cool? When's the last time you remember having 2 new moons in 1 month? But anyways, we're going to get to that because the second new moon is at the end on the 30th and we're lingering on the 20th. So we're coming into the 4th week. And the 4th week is like, hey, why don't you get together with your friends? Why don't you get around people that you really like? Why don't you spend time with people that you love? And then it's like right when you make that decision, there's this another really round of really smooth, emotional, calming energy. And like when that happens, it's so really wonderful to watch people on earth, even animals as well, because you just kind of dive into this full-on love like connection, and it's super, super sweet. The 4th week is when the crown is really needed, that divine energy, because you're peaking out on your frequencies. And this is also the change between 2024 energy to 25 energy. So you yourself are making a lot of mental notes and imagining that over one night, you have a completely new lease on life, which I think is pretty fabulous that you do that. But it's a belief system and you believe in it. And so it works for you. So we're going to use it. So when we come into the 4th week, crown chakra, I chose lepidolite for the crown chakra. That's how you say it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lepidolite. And lepidolite is a delight. Okay, that was kind of cheesy. But I had to. Lepidolite lifts your frequencies. Think about it like from 3D to 5D. It also eliminates, similar to labradorite, which is what I chose for your third eye. Your third eye is being supported the whole month because you're having these bursts of energies. They're not really big bursts, smooth. I want you to think smooth. Smooth rolling energies where your third eye is coming online. Your psychic abilities are like, I'm very comfortable with this. I'm going to speak up more about this. I'm going to share my story. I'm going to connect to community the way that I am right now. And so more and more of you are going to come out with, I do see dead people. I do listen to my gut instinct. I do have rituals at home that I love, and I light a candle when I do this and that and that. So you're going to hear about more people having these spiritual rhythms and routines and rituals. And in it, you're going to be like, oh my God, that makes me a little bit more normal. And I really enjoy that. And that's very beautiful because the turn in the years, I'm getting off track, but the turn in the years takes us to 2025, which is more about community and more about 5D and more about spiritual, intuitive, psychic gifts. Okay. So labradorite and lepidolite are similar in the way that they like to eliminate fear. They filter fear, they filter anxieties, they filter these uneasies, and then they leave way for peace and confidence. Lepidolite is more about the divine, and labradorite is more about the perceiving, the clarity of the open mind, so that you get a higher perspective, so that you can keep an open mind about what's going on and not fall into old patterns, not fall into control to stay safe. You're going to find a comfort in expanding your light and energy to stay safe. No more retracting to protect. It's being naturally, authentically self to protect. Big difference. That's 2024 to 25. So then when we get closer to the 25th, I wrote, this is a day to do whatever you want to do for yourself. Give the gift of doing what you want to do on that day. So when you wake up, Just go, what do I want? What do I need? Let's do it. And if it's about making a future trip, plan it on that day. Give it to yourself. The energy is going to be very self-fulfilling, self-soothing, all about self-love. And so you're not the only one who's going to be doing this. Every other person that you're looking at in the world is going to be getting in the same kind of energy. So you're like, you too? So what are you picking? What are you doing? And then it's like this collab, and it's very, very nice. And that just brings in more community. Then we get to the 27th, which is a really nice healing and spiritual day. But I go into more of that in the deep dive because it's just so much to talk about. But one of my favorite days is right at the end of the month on the 30th, where you are closer to your dreams than you will ever be. So I want you to take the month. Remember at the beginning when I said solar plexus is going to be challenged? I chose yellow calcite to help with that frequency. And when you're in that on like right after the new moon, where you can make long-term goals and plans and then launch that and kind of watch it come back around to you, I want you to really focus on your dreams. I want you to really plan, what are you going to be when you grow up? Because at the end of the month on the 30th, it is so much fun. And you also get the boost of the new moon energy as well. And so you can use that as the good lunatic that you are to support you achieving your dreams, because they're just going to be on the tips of your fingers and the tips of your tongue. And you're like, what do I want to do with this? Some of you will see it as power. Some of you will see it as energy or liveliness, vitality. And some of you will see it as the completion of a goal, like your dream coming to fruition. And so for that new moon energy, it's absolutely about expanding, engaging, bringing in and anchoring in the higher frequencies to help you. And then we go right into 2025, which is going to be very fun. I'm very happy that Grace is going to do a channeling. I think that's on January 3rd, about 2025. So you can learn more about the overall view of the year. But, by then we'll already do the energy update for January 2025.
It is January 3rd. Look at you.
See, I know something.
We planned it so long ago, I couldn't remember. So
you had to look it up?
I did.
Yeah. Okay, so the crystals that I picked, you can absolutely put these around your bed and grid your bed this month. And that's going to be yellow calcite, citrine, how do you say it?
It's yellow calcite.
Oh my goodness. I had other words dancing in my head. Yellow calcite and labradorite and lepidolite. You can put all of these around your bed. So if you have a really busy head and a lot of thoughts, the labradorite around your bed is really going to help you with that. And that will bring in that smooth energy that I talk about, that's supporting the emotions and supporting that opening of your third eye and existing here way more than existing like in denser energies. And the lepidolite will actually help soothe any kind of emotional traumas or anything that you're processing, so you get deeper sleep. And of course, the opening up of the mind, calcite is very good at that. And you can pair it with black tourmaline, you can pair it with selenite, and you can have those 5 stones on each corner of your bed. So it's a small little fist. They don't have to be big stones. They can be as small as your pinky nail, and you just put them together. And then what happens is they talk to each other and they communicate. And so that communication bathes your auric field and your energetic body all night long when you're sleeping. So it really helps you manage the energy fluctuations that are in December, because these are going to help pacify and keep them smooth for you as you're navigating through it. And then the Hertz, if you like sound and you want to use Hertz for self-healing and soothing, I picked 852. 852 is kind of like a third eye opener. It's like a higher perspective, and you have this grand view, which I think is going to be very important, especially at the end of December when you're closer to your dreams and you've gone through that evolution of increasing your frequencies the whole month. So I want you to be able to really connect and gather that, which is also why the spirit animal that I chose is the hawk. I really wanted to choose the octopus actually, but Jamie said that it wasn't as available in nature for a lot of people because not a lot of people scuba dive. And I was like, contraire. There are octopus like images and statues and things like that that people can see, but I was picking the octopus because of its intelligence and its ability to have an open mind when it comes to problem solving. Just anything is possible. But the hawk also has an open mind, and it has an open mind because it has a higher perspective, which kind of fits this energy of 852 frequency coming. And so you can pair all of that together. So whenever you see the hawk, any kind of hawk, you can just go, I got you. I'm supposed to keep an open mind, meaning if I have hard boundaries and hard beliefs, I need to soften those edges. I need to sand them down, loosen them up, and just go, anything's possible. Let's see what happens. And stay in that feeling for the whole month of December. But at any time that you're feeling physically unsafe, definitely do self-preserve and leave. Don't push yourself so hard because I said, stay loose and stay present and see what's possible. No, if you are not safe, definitely take care of that top priority. I mean, you incarnated into this body, so you got to take care of it. Then if you're way into aromatherapy or scents, you can use an essential oil recipe where it's bergamot. I really like bergamot a lot. I try to put it in a lot. I'm really sorry if you don't like it because I recognize I do it a lot. As well as grapefruit. You can use pink grapefruit. So it's 3 drops of bergamot, 3 drops of pink grapefruit, 2 drops of Ylang or Ylang. That's the earthy note to kind of keep you present, that mindfulness in the now. Remember, mindfulness plus now equals growth. Open mind, 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 mind. So there's those 3. And then a bonus one you could add to it is either like a pink pepper. It's a little bit of a spice, but it's sweet at the same time, just 1 drop. Or you can add like 1 drop of rosemary, just 1 drop. Or if you really like cooking and things like that, you like basil, you can add basil too. 1 drop. So if you do basil, don't do pink pepper, don't do rosemary. Just pick one of the other elements. These are the earthy, really grounding elements along with ylang. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Because that was like a lot of options. Oh, I forgot to tell you that if you're going to listen to the Hertz, I would listen to it at night and I would turn it down so low that when you're laying in bed, not ruffling the sheets or the comforter or anything, that you barely hear it in your ear. Like you gotta listen really hard and you somewhat hear it. That's the volume that you keep it at. Because you don't need to process it with your ears. It's more about having the frequency in the environment and it's washing over you. And when you put yourself in those frequencies, your energetic body actually balances and heals itself much quicker. That's why it's also really wonderful to grid your bed too. Do you have any questions or does it make sense, everything that I've said? I really like December. I really like it a lot. So you get through the first week. I think the first week is like a little bit like this. Then it's just like, wait, I'm supposed to take care of myself? Wait, people love me and I love them? Wait, I'm supposed to do for myself and everybody is doing this? Like, we're all in this together. You do spiritual stuff too? Oh my God, I do too. And then, like, you're just climbing up in your third eye and it's not the same kind of hustle as the holidays used to be. It's quite different. And you're going to find a little bit more space in your time, which I think you all can use. But just also remember on the 8th, the key thing, December is really asking, like, how creative can you be with your flexibility? It's really saying crawl out of the box you put yourself into. Don't define yourself the way you define yourself. What else is there? So lots of curiosity through the month, lots of like sanding down the edges, and just like being, because it is so prepping you for 2025. I'm telling you, it is prepping you big time.
Do you want to touch a little bit on Mercury retrograde this month and how it might feel a little bit different? Because I know that you talked about that, I think it was last month, or maybe at one of the other channelings, how this Mercury retrograde was going to feel a little different than it normally does.
Well, the Mercury in retrograde and the Mars in retrograde that comes in on the 6th, they're thicker. They're thicker, and it's kind of overriding other transits and positions, the way the energy runs in. And so it's not, I mean, that it's so thick it pins you down and you can't breathe kind of a thing, but it's thick enough to where you would normally take the energy that's coming in and expect it to behave in a certain way. But it's imagine that Mercury and Mars is doing this too. the retrogrades right now are just doing one layer of glaze or paint over something, and it's just enough to make it look different. But as soon as you get past the one layer of paint, you know how thin that is, right? You scratch it off. It's what you're used to connecting to, that energy. So when you get a resistance or hesitance, don't just quit right there. Don't, at the first nudge, don't just go, well, that's it. I got my sign. I'm done. Do it again. Not to test the waters or anything. You're just saying, Mercury, Mars, I know you're kind of stirring the pot a little bit, making me a little sluggish, making it a little like, huh. Mercury likes to pack things up, like bring back your past and just like slam it into your face a little bit. Redo this. So when all of that's happening, I don't want you to go, oh, well, what am I supposed to learn and what's happening here? And then go into a spiral of this. I just want you to lean into it one more time. And then you'll go, oh, I see what you're doing. This is an influence of Mercury in retrograde. So it's not about me redoing this lesson per se. It's about me doing like learning something better on it. It's about me getting the sweetness out of it rather than me thinking, I didn't complete it right, and so I have to do it all over again. Does that kind of make sense?
Yes. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Holland is asking,
Hi, Helen.
Would it be best to do a manifestation ritual for 2025 on the December new moon versus the January new moon?
But December has 2 new moons. Are you claiming that the 30th of December is in January? I would do 30th of December new moon. That moon is spectacular. That's the one where it's just like the dreams are right at your fingertips. It's just like you're already up here. I would use that energy to engage, expand where you want, to explore like your long-term goals or what you're bringing into the world. I would use the 30th new moon.
So we talked about beforehand discussing the political and economic stuff in the deep dive. What do you think about that? Or do you want to discuss it now?
I'm game for anything.
Okay. So why don't you take about 5 minutes now, and then you can take further questions on it in the deep dive. So we have questions.
I love the deep dive. We get really into the nitty-gritty and stuff like that.
We do.
Okay.
You feel safer to say things there.
Yeah, you can. Well, yeah, and there's more like space and time to ask questions because we don't have to go over the whole month. So economics, when we're looking at, let's look at cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, things like that, Ethereum, that is going on a rise. So I told you in November, I was like, just keep an eye. You'll know when to buy. You'll see it. Go ahead, because it's going to get bigger and stronger over 2025, and more people are going to be using it. Yay! Change is here. Isn't it great? We've been prepping and prepping and prepping. Okay, so I want you to remember that when you do anything with cryptocurrency, that's a long-term investment. It's not a short-term investment. So whatever you're putting into it, just say, I'm not going to be able to see this for 5 years. Goodbye. And then just like, see ya, go do your thing. Because when you're thinking about it that way, you'll get a better connection, an energy connection to that kind of an energy, and you'll get more of a return. Because I don't want you to have big expectations, but it is going to grow over the next year. So yay, but don't pull it out. Like, do you know what I mean? Like leave it there to grow. When we're looking at other monies, the APR and the interest rates are going to continue to decline a little bit for December and January and February, probably into March, but then it's just going to start to stabilize and maybe even get a little bit higher. So if you're looking at purchasing land or properties, the best time to do it is kind of like now. Now, December, January, February. Go ahead and take your money and put it into land. That is going to, over the next 10 years. I know that you're like, that's an extra long investment, but if you're looking at getting like a big return and you don't need to see that money because you're building maybe a retirement fund or something like that, buy some land, because in 10 years, it is more than going to double. Like it's going to be real good, real strong. And so I talk a lot about investing your monies into material items like land. Gold is pretty strong right now, but still it's going to rise a little bit more, but not much, maybe like $200 more per ounce. So you can get on that and then you can have a return. But if you're just small investing, then it's not going to be a big return. But if you're a big investor, it would be a nice chunk of a return. Silver is really good too. And I suggest having both of those things on hand because the federal banking system is going to get a little wonky and a little crazy because it wants to stay in control, but it's really not in control whatsoever. And more people are going to start doing the trade aspect, going to do Bitcoin and other ways to get their goods and things. And 2025 is bringing more in that renaissance, the ma and pop feeling, the more of creative and the arts and the flow of things. So the majority of people who are super like intuitive, heard, which is nice. But other structures that are used to having for next year, so you can have it in your hands. So that's like United States.
So the question was about geopolitical, but you keep freezing, Maitland. So I'm going to.
But you're not freezing.
No, I'm not freezing. And I keep peeking over at your screen, and you're on, so it's recording. So if you want to touch,
I'll push back
just briefly on politics, and then we'll take the rest of the deep dive, so we give Jamie a little break between the two.
Trump is elected president for United States of America, and with his presidency, he's going to be able to tear down a lot more of the structures because he's going to expose them, because he's a very forward, brash personality and doesn't know how to hold a secret, which is really fun. So he'll just spill secrets and you'll think it's all crazy nonsense. And you'll say, this doesn't make sense. He's making it up. But later on, you'll find out he's not making it up. And you'll think, oh my God, this is my country. What is happening? And so there's a lot of confusion, but it's great because it undermines and it takes apart structure. This is also coming out with people wanting more information around multidimensionals and their presence, which, by the way, when you increase your frequencies in December, you're going to have a lot more multidimensional engagement, because now those people who are bridges for multidimensionals to communicate to humans on Earth, you're showing up more and more. They're coming forward more and more. So your dream state, your curiosity, you might feel like you're being watched, but not in a paranoid way. It's just more like, friend, come out of the corner. I know you're there. Like, what's going on? Because they're working in ways with people on Earth that make you feel safe, confident, and comfortable. And because your frequencies are increasing, that makes it easier. So there's a lot of restructuring that needs to happen. 2025, we'll get into that more with the thing, but you have to have your voice heard. You have to speak up because you need the motivation from the political downfall. Downfall, I don't mean like destruction, but I do mean tearing apart structures that no longer work. And that creates anger. You need to be mad. And it's fine to be mad. You got to get mad because rights are being taken away and policies are putting in place that entrap people. Really, they trap you. There's going to be a lot of gaslighting. There's going to be a lot of really wicked little things, but your frequency is so high, you see it. And you see it in a way you're like, I'm so above that. I'm not even get angry about that, but I'm definitely going to speak up about that because that's not right. And it's those that are in the trenches that will blow up like a lot of emotional bombs. Well, this isn't fair, and this isn't this, and you're going to be watching TV going, this is wild. Like, isn't this like what do you call them, a TV talk show? Late night TV talk show kind of a thing?
Mm-hmm.
A Maury, like a Maury talk show. Is that right, Maury?
Yeah, Maury Povich.
Maury Povich.
Yeah, okay. So you're saying like one of those, like a Jerry Springer.
Those
kind of things.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Got it.
You'll go, I can't believe this is happening.
Like sensationalized.
Yeah,
yes.
That's the word, over sensationalized. And so I want you to remember the news media is playing off of that. And there's going to be some laws in place in 2025 that will block news medias from over sensationalizing, or they have to name their news entertainment because it's entertainment. It's not news. So news channels are going to pop up more online and they're going to be more factual based. And they're going to have like a little code that says, like, we don't share opinion. This is exactly what's happening. It's going to be very mundane, but it'll be much better for you to get your news that way. Was that helpful for the political?
Yes.
Globally, what's going to happen with Trump was Trump kind of positions thinking he's in power, but he's not really in power. It's just the other people around him that are kind of in power, and it's a little bit of a puppet. Both presidents, that both what do you call them? Running presidents?
Yeah, like a candidate.
Candidates. Both candidates would have been that way. So it's not unique just to him. Just want you to know that. Democrat as well. It's not a Democrat-Republic thing. Stop it. You guys are all on the same page. You need to stop labeling yourself and get together. Get together 2025. So there's a downfall in other countries as well as they position themselves in power, as United States shifts their power more to the people and more into, let's just say, like idolizing like Sweden or something like that, idolizing Switzerland, idolizing some of these neutral states that really take care of their people, their humanitarian efforts. And then it's going to be a war against other countries who aren't doing the same. It's a huge wave, and it's already begun. You're in it. You don't have to wait for the change. You're in it. And so that big wave, that's what creates the new earth, 5D. But it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a year. So just get comfortable with change. That's what we kept telling you for 2024. Get comfortable with change. 2025 is like get comfortable with community, being with people. Okay, I'll let you guys go. This has been so much fun. Thank you so much for being here. If you really like these energy updates, let us know. Like, talk to us. Put your fingers on put your fingers on the keyboard. That's how she says it. And then of course, tell somebody else about it, or see me at the deep dive so we can go a little bit more into what's going on beyond what we've shared.
Yes, we had a lot of questions popping up, so we'll take what we can in the deep dive. We have opportunity for a lot more questions over there.
Yeah. All right, I'll see you later, alligators.
After a while, crocodile.
This is the time where we rhyme goodbyes with animals. I'll see you soon, baboon.
Hasta mañana, iguana.
Grab that one right away. I got a job, warthog.
Let's see, we got a see you at the top, flying hawk.
That's the hawk one. This month, like November, see you in the morning, unicorn.
Toodaloo, kangaroo.
Blue kiss, jellyfish.
I'm reading some of these. I think it's time to go.
Got a sword, dinosaur.
You got it. You got it. Thank you, Maitland. So we'll see everyone in 10 minutes.